Hi, I'm Rod Lindgren. This is the second in my video series documenting my experience with kidney disease and how it related to my martial arts training. Part one ended with friends telling me, you got to get on dialysis. You should be on dialysis. And that's where we'll start now.
Very close friends who said, you should be on dialysis. You should be on dialysis. I said, well, I trust my doctor. And eventually I was just going downhill. Eventually all I could do was just barely go down and take the trash out and get back into the apartment here. It was, I was getting pretty weak. Finally, one fine Monday morning, my wife comes to me and says, you're going to the ER. I said, well, no, 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 no. Said, yeah, you are. I said, I got an appointment with a nephrologist next week. She said, no, you're going to the ER. So to humor her, I said, okay, we'll go to the ER. I go into the ER and they check me in, ask me why I'm there, and I tell them, well, I'm a kidney patient and I have lightheadedness and feel weak. And they said, okay. And I looked for a place to sit in the waiting room. They said, no, no, sir, right this way. Took me right into a room, did some tests, checked my blood, came back, said my EGFR was down to 6. So, yeah, I guess I'm in bad shape. Okay, so that was a Monday. And she said, well, I want to admit you. And I said, no, no, I don't think so. And she said, well, what do you want to do? I said, well, I want to go home. She said, well, what did you think was going to happen when you came here? And I honestly thought, they'd give me some pills and send me on my way. And I said, well, can we call my wife? And so we did. We called my wife. And my wife her name is Cindy, and she really took good care of me, went above and beyond. I can't say enough about her, but we called her, and the doctor told her about the lab test, and she said, but he wants to come home. And she said, no, he needs to be in the hospital. So I said, okay, all right. So they admit me to the hospital, gave me some food. That was good because I had dietary restrictions I was losing weight because I wasn't eating enough. And they fed me in the hospital. That was great. So that was Monday. Early Tuesday morning, they strapped me down. And I tell you what, they strapped me down. I was in that operating room and they had me strapped so many different ways I could not have twitched. I felt more restricted than one of Dexter Morgan's victims. I couldn't move. But thankfully, they put me under anesthesia right away, so I really wasn't conscious of it for very long. And they put a dialysis catheter into my chest. And then that afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, a nurse came in with the machine and I got dialysis. A short session, only about 2 hours the first time. They didn't want to hit me with too much all at once, but I felt somewhat better afterwards. And the nephrologist came to see me that night or that afternoon and to see how I was doing. And I told him, I haven't slept since I've been here. I haven't slept in 2 or 3 days. And he said, oh, okay, we'll have a pill for you tonight. And so I thought, great. So then they bring me the pill later that night, and I was really hesitant to take it. And it struck me that maybe part of the reason I couldn't sleep was because something in the back of my mind said, if you go to sleep, you're not going to wake up. I don't know. But I was really hesitant to take that sleeping pill. I finally did, and it helped a lot. I had visitors while I was there. My stepson and my grandson came to see me. It was good to see them. My mother called and from Nebraska, and it was good to talk to her. And she asked me how I was doing emotionally, and I just fell apart. I couldn't even talk. It was so hard on me because all my life I've tried to be the strong one. I've tried to make sure that I was not a burden on anyone, and here I was, just a feeble old man, weak. I was a burden. That's all I could be, and I got very emotional over that.
Thank you for watching. Part 3 is in the works and will be out soon.